How is everybody doing today? Awake, alive, ready to rock and roll? Literally ready to rock and roll. Now, how many people were here yesterday? Because there are a couple of remarks that I will be repeating, so please bear with me, but enjoy them and see it from a different lens and a different way of looking at it. But to keep the inherent sort of connection of all of the dots that I'm trying to put together, that's the basis on which I'm doing it. Okay, so I thought, let's just get the morning rolling with something fun. Who knows Madagascar? I want to get up and just shake your legs a bit. It's a little bit of the morning. 30 seconds, just get up. Trust me, it helps you. Volume, volume, volume. Everybody who knows me. I like to move it. I like to move it. Yeah, I like to move it. 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 Yeah, I like to move it. All girls all over the world. Original King Juliet for the girls, man. I love how all the girls I love to move their body. When you move your body, you know move it nice and sweet and sassy. Alright? Woman, you cute, and you don't need no makeup. Original cute body makeup on man on you cute, and you don't need no makeup. Original cute body makeup on man on physically fit, physically fit, right. physically fit. Thank you very much for being so sporting. Now we've got the energy flow back, so we can get the show on the road. So I will make some opening remarks just to sort of set the tone for today and some instructions in terms of the workshop. Yesterday was our liftoff. We did our basic wake-up call with Salim and Jerome Glenn, who came in and spoke to us about the future and some of the key issues. So whoever didn't come here yesterday, you missed out. We will recover a lot of that today, so I'm sure you will get into the game. Now, let me start with a question. And the question I always ask when I start a presentation is, what is going to define the future of humanity in this digital revolution, in this world of the fourth industrial revolution and all of the technologies and so on that are there? What do you think is going to define our future, other than the people who were here yesterday? Any ideas? What do you think will define your children's future? The pillar of the future. 3 or 4 of them. What do you think they are? Just throw a word. Sorry? Empathy. Wow, you're so good. Well done. Anybody else? People say data. See, you haven't woken up enough. You need more dancing. Normally people say big data. They say artificial intelligence and blockchain and so on. All of those things are relevant. However, the future, ladies and gentlemen, is going to have all of those elements. But the future is going to be decided by trust. Remember this word throughout today, trust. Ethics, humanity, values, and empathy. Those are the key words. You can have fintech, but if you don't have ethics and compliance, nothing will work. You can have blockchain, but if you can't build an environment of trust, nothing will work. You can have science, biotechnology, genetics, and create designer babies and create a huge, massive new race of people and live to 500 years. But where is your moral compass? That's what's going to decide the future. Technologies and so on in every revolution has served us. What we need to do today is to make sure that we are looking after ourselves in the truest way. The second area is thinking and intelligence. We get excited by artificial intelligence. Do you know where artificial intelligence is in terms of its developmental level? It's about there, at about 1%. Narrow AI, that's all it is. It has the capability of a cockroach in terms of intelligence, literally. A lobotomized cockroach at that. We are at 9.5, and we keep forgetting ourselves. And I think that is one of the key things as we go forward into the future, is that we need to develop our intelligence, our thinking about thinking, our memory, our learning how to learn, curiosity. Those are the things that make us human, and that is going to help us to define the future. I'll talk a little bit about transformation and ethics, because ethics is a word that will resonate throughout the day. We'll talk a little bit more also about just the basics of being more human. You'll hear a lot of technologies, you'll hear about a lot of case studies, but what a lot of things sometimes we keep forgetting is the human part of our future. And that needs to be a constant throughout the day. Now, I love to share this slide because it makes so much sense and it sets the tone for today, especially if you're living in Dubai. I came here in the late 1980s after graduating. I lived in this apartment here, 702. So I have seen the development of Dubai right from its beginning. Now, this is transformation in front of your eyes. It's a time lapse. But this kind of time lapse is not only happening in Dubai, it's happening in 10 cities in China, in another 5 cities in South Asia, another 5 cities, 10 cities in Latin America and Africa. This is the rate and the speed of change that we are working with, ladies and gentlemen. And this is how it's going to be defined. Now, as we go forward, this is what the world looks like for us. Within our lifetimes, the next 10 years, this is what it's going to look like. Now, there's a lot of technology in there. What's missing? Hardly any trees, hardly any flowers. Where's the playfulness? Where's the art? Where's the culture? Why don't we have more related to that? And this is part of what we need to ensure that we start putting some of those elements within our lives. And we need to put heart back into our business, heart back into our lives, heart back into our game when we're transforming companies. Because if you only do it with profit, it's not going to work. Let me just share something which has happened in the past 100 years ago, just to show you what it looks like. Now, this is New York, 1904, and it is in the Fifth Avenue Easter Day Parade. What do you see there? All we see are horse-driven carts, right? Do you see any cars in there? Anybody see a car in there? There, Heinrich just found one. There are two. Oops. There are two. Only two. Fast forward, 13 years later, no horses. Now, if you were in this environment and asked these horse-driven people, what would you like? And they said, faster horses, not new cars and new energy, new technology. And one of the business model innovations that Henry Ford did was match the price of a car to the cost of running a horse, and then reverse engineered it to create the Model T Ford. And within 4 years, the whole game changed. So what I was showing there was how fast things can change, even 100 years ago. And that's the transformation. And what Salim is going to do in his wake-up call is just show all of the various elements coming together, and then Emilie is going to follow in her keynote. So this is the kind of stuff. Now, these are some tectonic shifts. People moving from west to east, which we know about. Urbanization is a major trend. Silver tsunami. There are a few people here over the age of 25, and they have a little bit of gray hair. In my case, that is not required, but you know what I mean. 75% of the people working by 2025 are going to be millennials. But 75% of the spend is going to be for 50 and over. So ignore us at your peril. Because we're going to live to 100, and we are basically at half-time. And that really is the key. And a lot of people keep forgetting the oldies in their business plans and their business model and strategy because they're just looking at the younger group. We'll have a quick word on AI. Now, this is an important chart. This study was done at Boston and Babson College, where they said that 75% of the companies that are in the S&P 500 will no longer exist by the year 2025. And 50% of the companies going back in have not been born today. So either they are going to be transformed or they're going to be created from scratch. So every single thing is to play for. So those companies that were born in the previous century were designed for completely different structure, for control, for efficiency, for predictability and management of assets. New companies are coming up, and my phone's ringing. Sorry. Reality of life. fundamental. There we go. So we are in the transformation decade. This is where we are right now. Now, these are potentially one of my metaphors of the future, what the companies might look like. You'll be like an aircraft carrier, so still mobile, but it's the smaller aircraft, the new initiatives that will go out there and take on and hit you. Now, my professor, Professor Marshall Goldsmith, he speaks about what got you here won't get you there. So your MBA will get you here but won't get you there. Your law degree will get you here but won't get you there, because all the rules are completely different. So our rules of leadership are completely different. And these are some of the decisions that we have to make. Standing still is not an option. Today is about moving. Moving forward, what do we need to do? Where do we need to go? Otherwise, basically the cement is going to harden and you have no way forward. Now, in this environment, do you feel fear or do you feel hope? What do you guys feel? Hope? Both. Okay, both is probably the right answer. I'm going to share a little funny video with you. And it's an old lady. She's been put in a Tesla self-driving car. And all she's been asked to do is not to hold the steering wheel. That's all. And now let's just see what happens to her.
Oh, this car is coming! Oh, this car is... Bill, this... Put me back for me control it! Oh, dear Jesus! I could never... Oh, where's it going? God damn, Bill! Oh, my God! Oh, this is so scary. Oh, Jesus, this is my first day out and I'm about to die.
Oh, come on, relax.
Oh, my God, Bill. I couldn't do it. Oh!
So this goes on a little bit, but the idea is that she's totally safe. But the only thing she's been asked not to do is to take control. What do we like to do? Control. We want to hold the steering. We want to drive it, right? And the moment you've been asked to do this, you panic. And what happens is, this is not just an old lady screaming because she can't drive a car. This is the scream of Etisalat when WhatsApp and Skype walks in. This is the scream of RTA when Kareem and Uber walks in. This is the scream of technology and people who have to change their business when some consultant walks in and says, you have to transform. This is the scream that you're going to be screaming today, saying, I don't want to transform because I'm going to lose control. This is what this today is about. It's about letting go. It's about saying, how can I change? And the metamorphosis that I use, the example that I use, is a butterfly. A butterfly, like as a child, is born like a caterpillar. And then goes in, as it becomes a student and as it starts learning, into a pupa. And in that pupa, it's still eating and developing itself. But for the caterpillar to become a butterfly, the caterpillar completely liquidizes itself and then comes back out again as a vibrant, beautiful butterfly. That's the stage of development in individuals with children and schooling. That's the stage of development with companies as they go through that process. And it's that metamorphosis which is key. Today is about that metamorphosis. We have the best of the best coaches and experts from all over the world here. We have 12 of them here. They are going to help you liquidize and then reform into a beautiful butterfly. That's the purpose of today. A couple of final thoughts. I'll come back to this, the whole thing on AI later. One of the key comments I'd like to make on AI is, why can't we use it for good? Why can't we just use it for poverty, healthcare, education, climate? In other words, apply our biggest new invention to good and for good. So AI for good is one of my key things. Ethics within AI is one of the key areas that we will be discussing throughout today. And this is something which is the need of the hour. A lot of the work that we are doing in companies is a phrase that I used and Salim loved, and he's on standby, is pre-legal. We're not doing illegal things, we're doing pre-legal things. Most 3D printing in this country is pre-legal. Most AI work, crypto work, blockchain work is pre-legal. In other words, there's no legislation or regulation for it yet. And then you do it, you get into trouble, and then you get out of it. Kareem is a classic example. They were banned 3 or 4 times in the last 5, 6 years because they were breaking the law. But they survived. And that is part of what we have to do. So we take our own decisions and our own choices. So this is just a little bit as a, whoops. So this is where I'd like to end my opening remarks, and to sort of say, when you are thinking about today, think of trust, think of ethics, think of all of those things as you're going through your transformation. And that, to me, is one of the key areas. Now, I've been asked to make a few announcements. Do you know how this is going to be structured today? It's going to be, the presentations are going to happen in this plenary room. All the workshops are going to happen right next door. So you come out of the door, you turn right and right again. I mean, literally, it's the next room. The room is divided, it's color-coded, okay? And in that color coding, we have 4 colored badges. There are 4 case studies that are going to be done, and people are going to be allocated those spaces. The first one is silver, which is buyer. And I think our friends, Heinrich and their team, they will run that. The second one is, the table will be red, and it's Honda. So all the Honda people will go there. You will get wristbands. You'll find out as you go forward. And gold is Walmart, the deep study on Walmart. And finally, blue or black cover is going to be Shell. So those are the 4 areas, 4 groups that we're going to have. Let me just end with this. While you're doing all of this, please just think about these things. What really matters? When you're transforming your companies, when you're transforming your organizations, when you're recalibrating yourself, just remember this. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what we are all about as human beings. Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.